What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video after a New York Jets win. Their second win in a row. The Jets come out of the bye and beat the Cleveland Browns 27-20. We're going to break it all down, but first, think you know football, then try to turn your football knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day to payday. Just download the Sleeper app and pick more or less on your favorite players. With more stats than any other daily fantasy app, just choose two or more of your favorite players from pregame or live, pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money if your picks win. Use promo code O'Leary, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. New offer, a free $20 no deposit required promo. Terms and conditions apply. All right, let's get into this slop fest. It was a weird game, but the New York Jets come out on top. The Browns start with the ball. There's a penalty on first down, which ended up resulting in a quick 3-and-out for the Cleveland offense. Jets get the ball, and they immediately turn around to go 3-and-out. You'd get an absolutely beautiful punt from Austin McNamara inside the 5. Not joking, he might be the best player on this team. All right, this drive from the Browns ended up being arguably the best drive of the day. Gabriel takes a deep shot. A.Z. Thomas gets hit with a DPI. Malachi Corley runs for a first down. Dylan Gabriel would run for a first down. This gets them into the red zone after the DPI, and then the Corley run for 15. And then eventually Dylan Gabriel finds David Njoku for a touchdown on a little rollout play, puts the Browns up 7-0. This is when things get bizarre. Kene Nwanu, house call, baby, 99 yards on the kickoff return for a touchdown, ties this puppy up at 7 apiece. Browns go 3-and-out. In response to that, Gabriel did not look very comfortable, was missing passes left and right. They're going to punt it away, and Isaiah Williams, a punt return for a touchdown, puts the Jets up 14-7. The last two times they touched the ball, kick return for a touchdown and a punt return for a touchdown. The yardage, 74 yards. On the day that the New York Jets honor Nick Mangold at the stadium, Isaiah Williams has a 74-yard punt return for a touchdown. Love that. The Browns' next possession, they end up getting into a 4th and 2, and it looks like they're going to go for it. They're down 7. They're trying to be aggressive. False start, penalty in a bad spot. That'd be a huge storyline for the Browns in this game. A lot of just awful penalties for them. And then they decide to punt. So the Jets catch a break. Jets offense stalls, not much doing. Joe Tippmann had a false start on this possession. Jets punt it back. Jamian Sherwood trying to lay a big hit, ends up hitting A.Z. Thomas up high. That was tough to see. Sherwood obviously trying to make a big play and separate a receiver from the ball, ends up hitting A.Z. Thomas up high. Then you would end up getting a late flag on Brownlee for DPI. It's a third down situation. Can the Jets get off the field? Will McDonald comes up with a sack. Will McDonald with his best game of the season, maybe his best game as a Jet, just absolutely nuts. Things you love to see. Jets get the ball, though, and don't do anything with it. In fact, Justin Fields has his first interception of the season. It sets up the Browns in a golden opportunity right on the 22-yard line in the back-to-back plays. So Justin Fields' interception, did not see the safety. It was a bad read and a bad throw. Next play, Jerry Jeudy beats Brandon Stevens for a touchdown. First play after that, we are all tied up at 14. Jets with the ball, all right. Nice Breece Hall run, a big gain across the 50-yard line. Fields runs for a first down, slides. Late hit on that, though, puts the Jets inside the 10. They do a design run with Fields on 3rd and goal. It is stopped, and they have to settle for a field goal. They go up in front 17-14. Next possession, vintage Quincy Williams snuffs it out again. Screen for a big loss. McDonald again comes up with the sack. McDonald, 2 sacks at this point in the first half. Impressive. Myles Garrett would sack Justin Fields on 3rd and long. Jets punt it back to the Browns on their next possession. Right before the half, you'd have a good Browns drive. Dylan Gabriel found Harold Fannin Jr. for 24 yards, beat Isaiah Oliver. Jarvis Brownlee dropped a pick. It was I would say a rough Jarvis Brownlee game. Got hit for a couple penalties, dropped a pick. That would have been nice. Instead, they would settle for a field goal, 17-17 on the last play before the field goal. Will McDonald picked up sack number 3 on the half, so 17-17 going into half. Despite being tied 17-17, the Jets had -5 net passing yards in the first half, but they put up 17 points, so they were still in this game. Jets offense does absolutely nothing at a halftime. They punted away. Browns drive killed by penalties. They were moving the ball a little bit, like Dylan Gabriel was showing off some escapability and getting out of what would have been sacks and looking like prime Michael Vick, which was a little bit surprising. Jets next possession would go 3 and out, but unfortunately what you see is Garrett Wilson in a bit of pain, rubbing on his knee on the bench. He would not return after that. So, this is his first game back after hyperextending the knee, and maybe came back too soon as he had to leave this game in the third quarter. Quincy Williams sack off the blitz on the next possession. Quincy was flying around today. He had the benching from Aaron Glenn. That might have been a galaxy brain move from Aaron Glenn to just get Quincy Williams back to 2023 form, delay a game, and then a punt from the Cleveland Browns. The next drive that ends the third quarter and starts the fourth quarter, I'm going to be calling the Breece Hall drive, because they just completely relied on Breece Hall for really the entirety of that drive. A ton of runs, and then finally screen pass to Breece Hall, and it works, right? Hey, what do you know? A screen pass to Breece Hall. Novel concept, 42 yards to the house, set up beautifully, nice blocking. Jets in front, 24-17. Okay, Cleveland. Malachi Corley end around. He had 2 runs and picked up a couple first downs. No receptions, but had a couple runs for a first down. Fourth and 1 opportunity. The Browns are going for it again, and this time down a touchdown. And Will McDonald comes up huge again with a sack. His 4th sack of the day. Turnover on downs for him. Again, what a absolute special performance from Will McDonald today. Massive run for Breece Hall. He would pick up 30 yards. Design run from Justin Fields picks up a first down. Jets are moving the ball. They're in the red zone. And then things kind of got ugly. A pitch right for a big loss to Breece Hall. The Jets end up trotting out Nick Field Goal for a field goal. He nails it, puts the Jets up 10, 27-17. Next drive, okay, JJ with the sack. And then the penalties start coming out, and Dylan Gabriel starts running the ball. Dylan Gabriel on the game, by the way, I have the numbers over here, ended up rushing for 5 carries, 54 yards. They were big plays. He didn't run a ton, but when he did, they picked up big plays. 3rd and 7, Browns pick up a first down. Dylan Gabriel inside the red zone finds an open man. The Browns would have to settle for a field goal, but 27-20, 2:57 to go. The Jets are getting the ball back, and they were running the ball really well up until this point, and we would see that continue over the final 3 minutes. Breece Hall runs for a first down. Smart move, slides to stay in Browns, keeps the clock running. Weird play where the linebacker of Cleveland, Schlesinger, came in untouched and tackles Breece Hall for a loss. That was a big play, honestly blew it up, and would have set up a perfect opportunity for Cleveland to get the ball back. On 3rd and 16, you see Justin Fields kind of rolling out. He would end up sliding, which would have been a sack technically, right, for a loss of 1 yard. But a defensive hold gives the Jets a first down. All right, so they are gift wrapped an extra possession or an extra set, right? A series with a first down from the Cleveland Browns. 3rd and 4, Browns take their final timeout. First down ends the game. The Jets just need a first down at this point. Cleveland took their final timeout. They cannot stop the clock if the Jets pick up a first down. If not, they would have to punt, right? Okay, fine. Browns defense tackles Breece Hall for a loss of 1. They're going to try to draw the Cleveland Browns offside, and then they're going to punt. Like, everyone in the world knows what's going to happen here. The Jets are going to go up to the line of scrimmage. It's 4th and 5, and they're going to just, do a hard count, try to get you to jump offside, either take the delay of game and then punt, or take their timeout and punt back to Cleveland. And the Jets actually drew the defense off sides. And that gives the Jets a first down, and it gives the Jets their 2nd straight win, the 2nd win of the Aaron Glenn era. Just a very bizarre game. A very bizarre game that the New York Jets won 27-20. It wasn't pretty. Justin Fields was 6 of 11 passing, 54 yards, 1 touchdown, a pick, 3 sacks, a 60.4 rating. 42 of those 54 yards came on 1 play. the screen to Breece Hall. Was not a good Justin Fields day. Dylan Gabriel, not much better. 17 of 32, 167 yards. Did have 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 6 sacks, though, and an 88.9 rating. For the Jets, Breece Hall, your leading rusher, 21 carries, 83 yards, 4 yards per attempt. Not a huge yards per attempt day, but I thought he got some gritty, grinded out gritty yards against the league's best run defense. And then obviously the big play was the Breece Hall 42-yard receiving touchdown. There were 6 completions in this game. Each player had 1. Breece Hall had 1 catch, Isaiah Williams 1 catch, Mason Taylor 1 catch, John Mechie 1 catch, Isaiah Davis 1 catch, and finally Jeremy Ruckert 1 catch. So a 6 completion day for Justin Fields, their starting quarterback, resulted in a win because the Jets ran the ball well and had a phenomenal special teams day. So the Jets improved to 2-7. Let me know your thoughts on this game down below in the comments. I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you next time.